Oh, welcome back. We have the 2.0 Sand Master on the bench, and we just wrapped up our first run and unboxing of this the other day. It was making kind of a pretty loud gear noise, but when I try to do anything on the bench, it seems to be fairly quiet. And I'll give you an example of that noise right now. So I'm going to go ahead and open this guy up and see what we're dealing with. I'm just going to pull the gearbox out and just kind of make a check over everything, see if there's something loose in there or whether maybe there's no grease, or heck, it could even be the motor. So I'm going to pull it apart, and I have this one I pulled out of that Traxxas Rustler, and I changed it out to a Castle system. So now I have a 2S brushless Traxxas system, and that might be pretty good in this thing. I'm going to get it pulled open. We'll have a look inside the gearbox and see what's going on there. So I've lightened up the camera quite a bit so you can see in here with all these parts being black. And I'm not really seeing anything wrong from the outside by just opening it up and running our spur gear and pinion gear around. It's pretty quiet this way. It's kind of an odd thing. And I found that the bearing ends were all nice and quiet as well. So I'm not sure what we're going to see inside this. But one of the things that's kind of interesting and to note, this is a pressed on plastic pinion gear, which I am a little bit disappointed in that. I thought, you'd at least have a pinion gear that had a grub screw that could be removed easily without having to worry about the damage of removing it and putting it back on and having it slide back off later because it's just gotten loose. So I need to try to figure out what pitch we're running here. It looks like a 48, but it could be a mod. It could be a mod 6 or something, and I wouldn't know without checking the instructions. So I'm going to have to check all that out. But before that, I'm going to go ahead and pop the motor out, pop the spur off, and I think we split the case from this side, and we'll have a look inside. Oh, here is a look inside the gearbox, and it all spins really, really well and easily. And there's a little bit of grease in there, but it's plastic gearing, so that's not horrible. I'm going to go ahead and put some more grease in it. But let's think about pulling out our differential here. And it does not feel really bad. It's kind of, well, I guess it's got a clicky feel to it, but it's not horrible. Oh, I will pull a couple. It looks like I'll pull these free and just have a gander inside and see what we're dealing with. Here's the inside, and I have found there's nothing amiss here. You can see it's spinning right away in there. And maybe it's because it's just a 2-bevel gear instead of a 4-bevel gear that it's louder. I'm not 100% sure why. But there's nothing's out of whack. Everything goes in and together and nicely. All the teeth look to be there on everything I've looked at. There's plenty of grease in there. So maybe this is just a chattery car. But it's always good to rip stuff open and inspect, especially if you have a funny noise, because you're going to do long-term damage if you don't inspect things like that from time to time. So I'm going to get this all back together. Try to figure out what pitch we're running on our pinion gear there, and switch out to a metal pinion gear, put that 2S system in there, and we'll see how it all goes once I get it all buttoned back up. But I can find nothing physically wrong with the gearbox, so that at least sets my mind at ease. So I believe the noise might be coming from the spur gear. I kind of noticed that it was mis-extruded. You can kind of see right there on the teeth how it's not great. And if you look, it doesn't run quite straight. But I believe that it's possibly that spur gear. Well, I'm going to see if I got another one laying around. And if I do not, we're just going to have to run it the way it is and then throw another spur gear on it when we get one. But I think that might be our culprit, because it seems to be doing it when it gets around to that spot that's messed up on that spur gear from the factory. We're all back together, and for good or bad, we're going to run it the way it is and see what happens. Hopefully I'll be able to get a hold of a new spur gear at some point, but I mean, at this point in the game, I've already ran it, put a whole battery through it, regular with the stock motor. Now we got this one in here, and I say let's just run it and see what happens. It may smooth out, and if not, I'll put the new gears in when they get here. I'm going to contact Kyosho. And okay, we have made it out. It is super cold, but I think we have managed to take care of some of our problem with the gear noise. But look at this. This thing pulls wheelies now. The Wheelie Master. So it still does have some of the gear noise, but by doing the little bit of whoa by doing the little bit of sanding and working on the gears, it has taken quite a bit out of it. So that's good to know that it is just a badly extruded plastic situation. That wheelie is just nuts. This is a problem I've been having. I do not like this battery case, and that is why. Now I'm gonna have to go find the battery case. So there we have it, guys. Fix the gear noise a little bit, and got a little machine now. I'll have to do a GPS test when it's a little bit nicer outside. But fix the gear noise quite a bit. We ride wheelies now. And it's pretty fun. So thanks for watching, everybody. Catch you on the next video. We'll definitely be seeing more of this.